Then.
Do you really not know?
Well, do you have a topic? Hello. Welcome to what should be episode 4 of the podcast, but it's not because we recorded episode 3 last week and we lost the well, we didn't lose the audio for some reason. The audio never recorded, so we couldn't upload it. But
is it recording this time?
I'm recording the audio on the camera this time. So if the camera doesn't have the audio, we've got the actual audio there. We'll just have to sync it up. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, we've got any topics? Got any topics you want to talk about? So much just happened there literally 2 minutes ago. I suppose we can talk about that. America has its new president, and it's not an idiot.
That's a controversial statement.
I know.
I feel like it's hard for us to talk about though because we're not American. We have opinions, but we don't fully know everything about America and stuff.
We don't understand all that culture, do we?
No.
To us,
he seems like a perfectly reasonable president, but we don't actually know who Biden really is, do we? So
no. And to be fair, our last two prime ministers have been Boris Johnson and Theresa May, so we can hardly talk.
Yeah.
Although
not the worst people.
Theresa May wasn't
the
worst, but Boris Johnson.
He's done good in a bad situation. Well,
having to go into lockdown twice.
Do you blame that on him though, other people?
Well, the whole eat out to help out thing didn't work, did it? 1 month they're telling us to go out and help local businesses, and the next minute they're telling us no, stay in and don't do anything.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, yeah, it's nice. It's nice to say that America have elected someone who seemed like the obvious choice.
Yeah.
Like from a British person looking in, and obviously we're not going to sort of insult people for their political affiliations because we don't want.
That's not right. You shouldn't insult people for what they think.
We just shouldn't insult people for anything really.
Yeah.
And like it's funny that people for years have been going, doesn't Donald Trump look ridiculous? Can you believe he's the president? And it's like, that's what you're criticising him for, his look, as opposed to his horrible views. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, that's what always makes me, like when people say, oh, isn't Boris Johnson, isn't his hair ridiculous? And it's like, I don't care about his hair.
Yeah, I don't like that. It happens, like, we see it a lot in British Parliament where, like, they insult the suits that they're wearing. And I'm like, you're literally running the country and you're insulting the way they look. Like, if that's, like...
It's school children.
Yeah, like,
stuff.
they're supposed to be representing the country and it's like they're not... Why are you attacking people's looks? It's just that.
I know.
Consider as well, our whole... Britain, the whole reason why we wear uniforms from literally when you start school until you turn 16 is because we don't bully people for the way, like, the clothes they wear and the way they look, and yet they do it in, like, Parliament and stuff. It's just daft.
I'll tell you what though, the reason I've sort of, because I used to think Theresa May was an idiot with some of the stuff that she did, but she came out and she spoke recently at Parliament, and we will change the subject at some point because I don't think it's a very good podcast.
I don't really like politics. I get in rants too much.
Yeah, but she came out and she said, you know what we haven't done. The projected deaths for this point for COVID in the UK was 4,000. We're at 250, so we're nowhere near the projected deaths. It's just the amount of cases that we've got that's bad.
Yeah.
But then she said the other thing that we haven't thought about is how many small businesses are going to be left when we come out of lockdown. How many people are going to be suffering from mental health issues? How many people are going to be suffering from depression? They're going to have no money. Their lives have been shattered because they can't work. It's like that's what she should have been like when she was in power, and I don't feel like she was.
Yeah. It's different though, isn't it? She hasn't got as many responsibilities as she does now.
No.
So I feel like it's alright. Like, it's alright for everyone to come out and be like, oh yeah, Boris Johnson isn't doing this and he's doing this, but he's not doing this. It's like, well, it's hard to put yourself in that kind of situation because, I mean, I don't know what I would do in that situation.
I couldn't be Prime Minister.
No.
I mean, I probably could, but I'd be the kind of Prime Minister who was like sitting on a horse riding up the street with a sword trying to kill, peasants and whatnot.
Yeah.
That video went up today, the Mad Queen video.
It did, yeah. That's looking at you as a Prime Minister.
I would be like, as a ruler, yeah. Yeah.
God help us, yeah.
Just think though, in 20 years I might run for president. Go and live in America. How old do you have to be to run for president? 35.
Well, you also have to be American, so...
Well, I mean, you can have a green card. Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted to be president. He's not American.
No, but he's lived in America like practically all of his life.
That's what I mean. We'll pack up and we'll move to America tomorrow. In 20 years' time, I can be president.
I don't think that's how it works, I'm afraid, Shaun, but...
Oh, it is 5 different presidents. Maybe. If it's 4 years. Yeah, but the good thing about Biden that's good is he seems to have he's a lot more like measured. Do you know what I mean? When a reporter in America sort of directs a question at Trump and it's sort of derogatory, you know, he very quickly snaps at them. That's what the whole sort of disabled comment was about, wasn't it? That someone asked him a question that was derogatory towards him, and then the other one was about a woman. Did he make a sexist comment about a woman after a reporter asked him a question?
He's done that. He's done stuff like that a few times with different stuff. That whole thing what recently did with COVID, saying that people should just drink bleach, was because a reporter.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
A reporter said something and he snapped and he kind of said that. I don't think.
No, that wasn't that. That's when he turned around and he went. He said something like bleach kills 99% of germs, and we all have this horrible germ, and we should drink it because it would destroy the COVID virus.
Didn't a reporter not ask him about what he was doing to help or something, and he made that comment? I don't know. I
don't think so, because he answered it, and then he looked to some of his advisors to the left, and he was going, "So maybe that's something that we could look into, maybe the bleach thing." And collectively, I think America, and not just America, I think the world collectively just kind of went, "What?" Because you could say one of his, I don't know who she was, but she's sort of like an elderly lady, but she's a member of his cabinet.
Yeah.
Do you call it a cabinet?
I don't think so. They have different terms.
A member of his group, let's say, and she just sat there after he said that, and you could see her face going, "Why has he said that?" It might have been a part of his PR team or something.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I've always wondered, are they his actual views, or is he just so short-tempered and snappy that he kind of speaks without thinking sometimes?
Yeah.
That he just says something, and then I wonder if afterwards he goes, "You know what? Maybe I shouldn't have said that."
Yeah, because you know, he's obviously grown up. Well, I say grown up. He's obviously made his career on television, hasn't he? Because a lot of his thing was television before, after he became a big businessman.
His dad was a big businessman, so that's where he got
the business thing from. But he made. Do you mean
like his fame, like how we know him?
Yeah.
Wasn't it not from The Apprentice?
Yeah.
Was he not on
that's
that?
What I mean. He wasn't. He was the Alan Sugar character on it, so he was the.
Yeah.
He was the boss that they were all trying to impress, and he was at WrestleMania.
He was. He slapped Vince McMahon.
Yeah. He did more than slap Vince, but he punched him in the face and he shaved him.
Yeah. Didn't Stone Cold give him a Stone Cold Stunner as well?
Yeah. If it's one thing to be said, and this is why Donald Trump should not have been elected, the man cannot take a Stone Cold Stunner.
That should be the test. Yeah. Stone Cold should give every potential president a stunner.
That's why The Rock would be a brilliant president, because his sell of the Stone Cold Stunner is the greatest in history. And we're going to put little clips in there so you can see the two different ones, because Trump just kind of goes, he just sort of shrinks into himself. Well, because it's a stunner, you meant to go,
and like repel, yeah.
The Rock
does like 5 flips, and then he's kind of like.
I love it, me. You could say what there was one. I don't know if it was WrestleMania 17.
Where he's flailing on the floor and
he hits him. After Stone Cold hits him and he's going for the pin, you can almost see the grin on his face because he's going over like. He sells it better than Stone Cold sells it. Yeah, but let's not talk about wrestling. That's a different podcast. The weird thing about Biden is that thing came out that was like supposedly a young woman that he sexually assaulted like 30 years ago, and then nothing ever happened with it. It was almost kind of like everyone went, yeah, that wasn't true. That's just
everyone collectively just stopped talking.
It's obviously not true. Yeah, because there's no evidence, there was no witnesses, there was no, I think the last even kind of changed the story 3 or 4 times, so it was like.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not true. It
doesn't mean
it's
not true, but it's highly helpful. That's something else we can talk about. Actually, we'll talk about that in a bit. But I just think everything that Biden said is, he's very sort of pro. What's the community called? The LGBTQ, whatever it's plus community. He's very pro, because he's like Obama was, isn't he? Because he was Obama's VP.
Yeah.
So he's always seemed to me, I can't believe it was as close as it was, and it took as long as it did, that between the two of them, I don't know why you would elect Trump. And again, this is me as an English person looking in on a different culture, and it's...
Yeah, that's the thing, because we don't see everything, just like Americans don't see everything that goes in our country. So we don't know what he's done for the country, really. We kind of just see the stuff the media chooses to tell us, which most of the time is a lot of the negative stuff. So you don't know if he's done any good... I don't know if he's done any good stuff for America. I mean, I've heard that he's, improved the economy. I guess, he's a businessman, so he probably would have, but I don't know.
The legitimate businessman.
I
don't know who that was meant to be. I think that might have been...
It sounded like someone from The Simpsons. Do you know the rich man that
Mr.
Homer
Burns?
works for? Yeah.
You think I sound like Mr. Burns?
It sounded more like him than you did it with
hold on, now that I know that it sounds like that, I'm going to try it again. Release the hounds.
It sounds more like him than it does Donald Trump.
I never thought I could do a Mr. Burns impression.
I mean...
I'd never really tried Simpsons impressions anyway, because you know me, I'm a Family Guy guy.
Yeah. I like The Simpsons.
I'm a Family Guy. Put that clip in there where Peter goes, ah!
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. I feel like that whole thing was weird. Like, that's never happened before, has it?
What?
No, I guess it has, hasn't it? A recount. That's happened for a few times, but
we've also got the first. I say there's also the first woman VP, and she's black.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people who say if you want to get rid of racism, stop referring to people as black and white. So to me, she's just the first woman VP, and it's a good sort of...
I think it's good because I think when you hear her talk, she's brilliant.
Yeah.
She's very smart.
She reminds me of Michelle Obama.
I said that to Mum the other day. Yeah, she's very like
collected.
She's not one of those politicians, I feel like, that kind of like dance around. She's kind of just like, here's the facts. Here's what we need to do.
That's what we want,
which I think is great. Yeah.
That's good. Like I say, it's a good thing. She seemed... I think it's because you had the debate between the two electoral candidates. You had Biden against Trump, which was stupid. The most pointless debate I've ever seen.
It didn't make them look good. No. Either of them did it, really, let's be honest.
And then you had the debate between the two VPs, and they were both sat there civilised, and they were having a conversation. I was like, okay.
It's like...
Why would neither of these two run for president?
Well, I mean, one of them, they might in the future. You never know. I mean, Biden was
VP, yeah.
Obama's VP, so...
That's right.
You never know.
It's a good time. It's a good time for America, I think. I think America's going to have a good 4 years.
Hopefully. I mean, you don't know. I mean, again, we don't know. I don't know much about Biden. I know he apparently was good with Obama, but
He's done a lot of charity work.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't know what he's going to be like as an actual president.
Yeah, it turns out he's actually like a Mr. Burns kind of guy.
Yeah. I mean, but as well, though, I mean, he's kind of been dropped in it, really, because now he has to deal with the repercussions of COVID. Like, dealing with all that while also then having to improve the economy after that, helping those families that were affected, help, create more jobs and stuff for people. So it's kind of... It's going to be tough.
I think in that sense, though, that the next year or so is going to be awful for everyone. It's just going to be...
Yeah.
Just trying to get out of this COVID crap. It's going to be awkward as hell. But, we'll get there. I'm sure America will get there. So will we. So will the UK. The UK will get there. So we're going to talk about that for 15 minutes. Let's talk about something else.
Yeah,
something else that's been in the news recently, and it's no better.
I don't like this, and I got in a major rant with Mum about it, and I already know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it like Johnny Depp?
Yeah. So in the news recently, and this should technically have been an all things nerdy, not a podcast topic, because it's not just the actual case; it's what's a repercussion of the case. So obviously, if you don't know,
touch about this.
Yeah. So if you don't know, Johnny Depp had a case against
The Sun?
Was it the Sun? Yeah.
I think was it not a few newspapers?
It might have just been the British press.
Might have been a few, but
they basically branded him a wife beater.
Yeah.
And he came out and he had all of this evidence against Amber Heard. And it turned out that she basically and this is me, and again, I don't like talking about these things because no matter what happens, there will be people who call me this, that, and the other. But this is my opinion on the matter, and she's manipulated the Me Too movement to help herself to essentially cover her tracks against Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Because there's recordings of her saying that no one will ever believe that he's a victim because he's a man.
Yeah.
You know, there's pictures of him, you know, when he's had cigarettes put out on him and she pooed in his bed. I mean, you just think it's all. I mean, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, well he hit her too. And
I don't want to say, because like I feel like. So first of all, okay, this is a very sensitive subject.
Yeah, we have to be careful.
We do fully support people that deal with domestic abuse.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely not right.
Nope.
For any in any means. And to be fair, when it originally came out, I was like, God, that's so sad. Like, I really like Johnny Depp. Like, I can't believe he'd do something like that. I completely believed Amber Heard.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I actually looked into it, and because they made all the evidence has been pretty much made public,
yep.
And you can see, and fair enough, Johnny Depp, he has like done some stuff, like he's obviously drug and alcohol problems, and like that's the thing with him writing stuff in blood on like a mirror and stuff, like threatening stuff.
Drugs are legal, and well, some drugs are illegal.
I know, but it's more of a morality thing, isn't it? I guess,
yeah.
But which obviously isn't right, and I don't agree with. You know, I don't think that's in terms of a role model. I wouldn't really say he's in that sense. That's not really a kind of that kind of thing. But in terms of abuse, he does have a lot of evidence that says she abused him, and that being said as well, a lot of Amber Heard's ex-workers, like personal assistants and like makeup artists, have come out and sided with Johnny Depp, saying that she faked the bruises, that she lied about it, and that she like is just not a very nice person, is very like and is very like emotionally abusive with how people that work with her, which kind of changes it then, isn't it, because it makes Johnny Depp a victim.
Well, the thing is, what you said there was sort of it's the way the Me Too movement works, and it's you know, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the Me Too movement. There is something wrong with it, but I'm not going to get into that now. But the basic principle is, if someone accuses someone of, you know, anything, abuse in any sense, you believe the victim, and that's exactly how it should be. But my problem is, and I was the same as you. I said, "Oh my God, I never would have thought Johnny Depp was like that," because he seems so nice on TV.
Yeah. And
then, as soon as I saw the evidence, I was like, "That's never ever gonna work in his favour," because it just doesn't. And that's the issue with Me Too movement, is that sometimes men are let down by that system.
I don't think it's so much that. I think it's more of that stereotype which is created, which is that a lot of people forget, is that men can be victims too, not just of abuse, of other things as well, like rape and stuff, and I think a lot of people forget that. And so I think in this instance, a lot of it, also, you say that we should believe the victim, which I do agree with, but we should also understand that innocent until proven guilty, which I feel like in a lot of instances people do forget.
Yeah.
And he did come out with a lot of evidence, and so that kind of was like... And
another thing as well that's sort of... It's one of these feminist topics that feminists don't like to try and sort of acknowledge, is that they turn around and say, well, there was evidence that Johnny Depp, you know, beat her back, but then there was also evidence that was reactory.
Well, the one I saw was that he threw his phone off her in self-defense because she was punching him.
Yeah,
I saw that one that hit her in the face.
And my thing with that is, there's a lot of feminists who say men should not hit women. There's a lot of people who claim to be feminists and say that men should not hit women. But I'm one of those people who I'll just say, well, instead of saying men should not hit women or men should hit women if a woman's hitting them, just don't hit people.
Yeah, at all.
Just be one of those people who goes, I don't see the point in fighting. I'm not going to hit a woman. I'm not going to hit a man. Don't be a woman that hits a man. Don't be a woman that hits a woman. Don't be a man that hits a man. Don't be a man that hits a woman. Don't be any of them.
I know. It is. I don't really like that kind of thing, so I agree with you on that, but it's like I see all this stuff where it's like men get taken to court because they've defended themselves against women who were punching them and slapping them, and in that instance I'm kind of like, well, like in the throwing stuff off them and stuff, and like they have like all these cuts and like scars and stuff because these women were like hitting them, and in that instance I'm kind of like, well, if it's in self-defense and they feel like they genuinely can't do anything to get away from that situation, I can excuse it, and I can see why they felt they had to.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that I like to say, because I know a lot. I've got some friends who are lasses who are very like that. Like if a lass is like hitting a lad, the lad has every right to defend
and like
himself.
throwing stuff like I've seen it before. Like I see videos like people sharing Instagram. I don't know why you'd want to share any of that stuff on Instagram and like Facebook and stuff, where like these women are like they're like picking up chairs and they're like hitting them with them, like there's some kind of wrestler, and I'm like, absolutely they should be able to kind of push them away or like, you know, remove them. Like they shouldn't have to stand there and take it.
I feel like that's
just because they're a man.
That's why that's one of the ways it's, and you know, a lot of, again, this is going to be a lot of women might come out and say that I'm a sexist, because I'll say that is a way that society has failed men, that we can't defend ourselves against a woman without fear of persecution. Like a man, if he's, you know, if a woman's hitting a bloke with a, you know, a bottle or something, or something that's heavy and it hurts,
extreme,
he should absolutely have the right to knock her the hell out, because
I mean, I wouldn't say knock her out. I mean, he should be able to, I just think he should be able to defend himself, is
that's
what I
mean.
would say.
If a lass is braying a lad with something that's going to hurt him,
yeah. It's just it's weird.
Exactly the same.
Apparently, I think he's going to repeal it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Which is because the thing is though is that when you think the one in America, he's practically won that. I know he hasn't, but they've said that, you know, she can't fight against the evidence.
It is, and again, I'm going to use that phrase that I've already said. This is an instance where the Me Too movement's failed Johnny Depp, essentially, because he is all sensible people, he is the victim in this sort of thing.
I wouldn't say it's the Me Too movement in general, because I think it's more of the people, because you do get some extreme people who were extremely like men bashers, as I call them. I'm sure a lot of people call them, who are just anti-man. We don't like them, we don't want them, which, you know, they're perfectly sound to their opinion. I'm not taking that away from them, but in that instance, it doesn't matter what Johnny Depp says, they will not listen to it. He threw his phone off her, therefore he abused her, therefore he should be in prison for the rest of his life, despite the fact she almost killed him by cutting off a part of his finger that got badly infected, and he literally almost died from it.
You hear things like that and it's like, how on earth did he not win that case? There's evidence where she chopped off part of his finger. It's like,
well, apparently she had evidence as well, and that's the thing, isn't it?
To me, I just think, and again, this is another one of these things that might get sort of people have a go at me. It's touchy and it's awkward. But I think if that had been the other way around and Amber Heard had all that evidence against him, Johnny Depp's career would be over.
Well, it practically is. It was made to resign his role from Fantastic Beasts movie.
That's right, yeah.
Warner Brothers came out against it.
Well, he released a letter saying that he decided to resign, didn't he?
Well, but apparently he hasn't. Apparently, loads of stuff come out saying they made him resign.
But I guarantee this is going to be one of them cases where he loses. He's lost that. He's not going to be Grindelwald anymore, which is sad because he was a good Grindelwald. He's probably not going to be Jack Sparrow again, which is sad because he loves that part, and a lot of people love that part because it's a funny sort of family-friendly part, and it's just one of them things where there'll be. It's a horrible thing to have to see.
Yeah, it's like, because obviously, if she had concrete proof that he genuinely did abuse her, like obviously he has proof that she abused him, but if she came out with genuine, real, like concrete proof that he abused her, I'd be like, okay, both of them are just as bad as each other. But it's like she doesn't, in all of her stuff, she's like, it doesn't seem genuine. Have you seen that thing where it's like, someone, I don't know if it's in the FBI, that was like FBI reviewed all of our like her interviews and stuff, where she talked about it and how like they talk about like our behavioural mannerisms and stuff.
No.
It's like stuff like that, and it's just.
Well, I guarantee, right? This is something that I've literally just thought on the spot here. Is that in about 10 years' time, this will be made into a Netflix documentary, and
Probably,
everyone will go, "How on earth did Johnny Depp not win that?" And it'd be like,
yeah,
we don't know. But I've no, like, as me as a man who, like, you've all heard my views. You know, I'm not a homophobe, I'm not a racist, I'm not a sexist or anything like that. And you don't, and I know you don't agree with me on this, you've already said, but I think that the system's failed Johnny Depp at this point, because if that had been a woman with all the evidence that he had, absolutely the man would have been.
Oh yeah, I do agree on that sense. If it was the other way around, that probably would be the case. It would definitely be a lot more scrutiny around it. The media wouldn't, because originally the media were all over it, like bashing Johnny Depp. As soon as it came out that he had loads of this evidence, I haven't really seen much about it.
No.
So I do agree on that sense. I just don't. The thing I don't agree with is, I don't think it's specifically the Me Too movement. I think that's too. I think. What you just said there. That's what I mean by the Me Too movement. What you said there, because when it first came out that he was a supposed wife beater, yeah,
the papers jumped on him, despite the fact that nothing had been investigated yet.
Yeah,
and it was like, right, he's a wife beater, let's get him.
Wait, it wasn't even when they were. It was literally just when she filed for divorce and was leaving the thingy with. She had the bruise on her cheek, and immediately it was like, oh, he's abused her, that's why she's divorced him.
But that's what I mean by the Me Too movement, is that you'd think they go, right, okay, we need to believe the victim, but they also need to go, right, okay, so the victim's saying this, but we also need to protect the accuser, because if it's a man, and it turns out to not be true,
yeah,
his life will be over, whether it's true or not. Because what was that example that happened a few years ago on Big Brother?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. On Big Brother, where she accused of hitting him.
Yeah, she said he punched her or something, and he brayed her or something. And she was giving it the big.
He did this.
Not even that. He was like, he just sort of, he was play fighting with her.
Yeah.
And she was in the sort of seat giving it the big one, where like she was, crying, and she couldn't believe they let someone like him in the house. Roxanne Pallett, that's what she was called.
I don't know what he was called though.
He was Ryan. Isn't it Ryan Thomas or something?
I'm not sure.
His brother was on I'm a Celebrity. So it's and this thing that happened. If there's any people in America who watch this, because obviously it's an American thing with two Americans. This Big Brother case in England that happened. She has to be taken out of the house for this, that, and the other. But thankfully, and I listen to Denise Walsh all the time. Denise Walsh is my spirit animal, because she came out and she said, okay, yeah, so the reason Roxanne Pallett is apologising is because she was found out. She would not be apologising when she was, if the camera hadn't seen what had happened.
Yeah.
So if that had happened, she said there's only one place that isn't cameraed, and it's the toilet. If that had somehow happened in the toilet, that bloke's career and life would be over, because he would have no way of proving that he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And that's the issue that I think is so wrong with certain things. The Me Too movement doesn't go, we're obviously going to protect the victim in this, but if she or he or whatever turns out to be wrong and it's not, or she's making it up like Roxanne Pallett did, or he's making it up like Roxanne Pallett did, we have to protect the accused as well, otherwise.
I get what you're saying. I just don't think you shouldn't say the entire Me Too movement. I think it's a very small percentage. It's those people where they're on social media. They're the ones that comment on social media and like, oh, blah, 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 hate this, hate that. It's a very small percentage. I think the Me Too movement, although they were quite quiet about it afterwards, the issue is though is that she did a lot of stuff with the Me Too movement, where she gave loads of interviews about her experience and stuff. Yeah. So it's
that's what I mean. She manipulated the system to work in her favour.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just don't think it's just, I don't agree with that. It's everyone, because like obviously I agree, 100% agree with the Me Too movement, but I don't agree with. I'm not saying
everyone in the Me Too movement is to blame. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the idea of the Me Too movement failed, because the Me Too movement says we need to protect the victim at all costs, which is and we believe them at all costs, that's fine. But you also have to be a subclause in that says, okay, we're going to believe the victim, but we're also going to understand that the accused is innocent until proven guilty, because the problem is that there's no kind of protection for the accused, despite the fact that something like this, if it happens, can ruin a person's life.
I mean, it has, isn't it? Really? Well, I guess kind of not, because he's still rich, isn't he?
He's
not to a certain extent, but he's
still going to be rich, but he's not going to have two of his most lucrative characters anymore. That he can't play them anymore.
At the minute, you don't know what's going to happen later down the line. If he does win the case, if he does get the one in the UK repealed,
I doubt they'll bring him back.
Do you think?
No.
I think they should. I think there's no reason, if he wins the cases and he gets them repealed, they absolutely should.
They've started filming the third one.
They started filming with him, so
I don't think he'll be back at all.
I just don't think. It's dodgy, isn't it? It's a dodgy.
Yeah, it's one of these sort of awful things that's happened, and it's
But the thing is, though, it's like she's still going to be in Justice League.
That's right. She's come back.
She was in the Justice League trailer, so.
And she's coming back for reshoots.
She is, and as of yet, Warner Brothers haven't said anything whether or not she's going to be an Aquaman too.
No, that's the funny thing. It's Warner Brothers, and there's all this evidence again against Amber Heard, and they're saying, okay, yeah, you can come back and play Mira,
but he can't.
But he can't be Grindelwald.
It should kind of be a joint thing, because there's so much evidence. It should just be like, okay, both of yous. Until you figure everything out, until one of you is proven guilty, just both of you.
Neither of you.
Because then it would be fair. It'd be like, if they'd said, you know what, this whole thing, both of them need to go away, spend time dealing with this, rather than filming movies. Great. Instead of making, we don't know if it's true, one of them resign a role.
Yeah.
It's I saw loads of people though saying that if they don't remove her, they're going to boycott the movie.
Boycott what movie?
Aquaman 2, and if she's in it, because they haven't said if she's going to be in it. So I've seen loads of people saying they're going to boycott.
Well, that's the last thing they want, isn't it? Because I know, again, I'm having to put one in front of everything I say because it's a very touchy subject. There'll be a lot of male people who will not want to see a film with her in it now, because they share my kind of thing, where it's like.
I think there's a lot of female as well. To be fair, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of stuff where loads of women are coming out and saying, I saw one that it made me smile, honestly, because it's so nice what she said. It's like, I know there are a lot of males who are probably too scared to say this, so I'm going to say it for you. And it was something about how it's okay to side with Johnny Depp if you're a male. It's okay to say that he's not a beater, because I think loads of people, because she's Amber Heard, like you said, is kind of manipulating it in the way that she's playing the victim, even though there's a lot of evidence against her at the minute. It is okay to say, okay, she's not the victim. It seems that Johnny Depp is the victim, and I just thought it was because it's true.
Well, I saw a thing on Facebook that I follow this lass who she lives around here, and she's a bit of an idiot. Every
that's not very nice.
Every thing that she comes out with is sort of, she's very. She'll not be able to know who I'm talking. She'll not know that it's her that I'm talking about. But if she does, if the boot fits, she came out and she said something like, anyone can make a recording if the person they're recording is coerced. Essentially implying that Johnny Depp coerced Amber Heard into saying what she was saying, and that all the evidence against her shouldn't matter because clearly Johnny Depp is the beater in this scenario. And I was sitting there and I'm going, what on earth are you talking about?
How could he coerce her into recording?
But then someone commented it essentially saying that. It was like, how on earth can you coerce someone to say what she said in particular? Because she turned around and she said that no one's going to believe him, no one's going to believe that he's the victim because he's a man. That's essentially what she said. And it's like, would you say something like that calmly if you were coerced?
She literally said no. She literally said no one's going to believe you. It's not if it was very ambiguous what she was saying, and that didn't actually imply that she was acknowledging that she beat him, then I could kind of see why she was saying that. But
anyway, this last put that on, and this lad basically commented, and he essentially asked her that and said, well, how could he coerce her into saying that? And then she commented on him, slamming him, saying, oh, you're a this, that, and the other sympathiser. You're one of these people who believes it's okay for men to hit women and all that stuff. And it was like, since when did it become illegal to have an opinion? Just because you have an opinion on something doesn't mean you're whatever and whatever.
That's the thing, isn't it? You can't. It's difficult for people to say things. That's why when it comes to these kind of subjects, I usually take over.
I know,
because if it comes to women
I
and men
speak
stuff,
about these things because
I think you should speak, and I think there's probably a lot of people that do agree with you. That I think it's just difficult because people take stuff the wrong way, and I don't want anyone to feel like I don't want anyone to take it the wrong way. What we're saying.
Yeah.
But the way I see it, and the way that I've always seen stuff like this is, if someone has evidence, so much more evidence than the victim, the original victim, you can't ignore it. You have to acknowledge it and be like, well, actually, is he the abuser? And then when you realise, okay, actually this doesn't add up, then go, okay, we need to actually look into this.
Yeah.
Our own parents. Did you see that? Amber Heard's parents were being like, saying like they still see Johnny as a son and stuff. If I was being abused, our parents would not see anything that's like that, which is why it's weird. I've seen loads of people saying stuff, if they genuinely believe their daughter was being abused by this man, why would they saying like, we love you and like you're our son and like we're always gonna love you and stuff like this? It's like, why would they say stuff like that? And like Johnny Depp, like literally, like in one of the messages that he sent them, he literally said, I don't want to deal with any of this stuff right now because I'm gonna go like help give some kids some hearing aids and stuff. And I'm like, oh, Johnny Depp.
Well, the other thing as well that this last that I was talking about, she said, was that he's not exactly a good dad because he said that she basically said, right, that his daughter was going to go to a party and smoke and do. I was going to say smoke drugs because I'm not a top drug.
Do you smoke?
She was going to go to a thing and smoke some weed, green,
Right.
whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
But he said, "Don't buy it off them, buy it off me, and be safe. And if you're going to do it, smoke it at home."
Well, isn't it legal in
And
California?
that's the point I'm getting to, is that people came out and said, well, he's obviously not a good father because he's going to give his daughter drugs willingly. And I felt like commenting on this last thing and saying, well, one, in California, smoking weed is legal.
Mm-hmm.
And two, if it was legal here and you were a parent, would you not turn to your child and say, well, I'll tell you what, let's just do it here first. See if you can handle it before you go to a party with a bunch of high drunk teenagers.
Yeah.
And do it there.
I guess it's kind of similar to alcohol.
That's
isn't it?
that's
like
exactly the thing.
my first experience. I am 18, by the way. Just my first
And I'm 24.
experience.
I know I look younger than that, but I'm 24.
Anyway, my first experience with alcohol was with family, and it was in a very small, controlled amount where they knew I was okay, and it wasn't like I wasn't just like down in it like. And it was the same with you. And it was the same with Nicole, and it's been the same with everyone in our family. Like
Well,
all our cousins and
that's the
stuff.
things that the parents should do with things like that, is that you should provide essentially a bubble of protection.
If it's legal,
which is what when I saw that, I was like, that's exactly what he's doing. It's legal, and he's saying, I don't want you going and doing it with all them teenagers first. I want you to do it here first, so I know that you can handle it essentially.
I guess it does kind of make sense. I mean, obviously, I guess people's morals are different.
Yeah, depending on what you believe.
Yeah, I feel like if I was him, I wouldn't be like that. I would be like, no drugs at all. But if it's legal, then he can kind of, I guess it's good that he's not being one of those parents that like, no drugs, no.
Well, that's the thing.
Or like
just
ignores it and like neglects to do anything with
it. He's letting her make her own mistakes, but he's also giving her a safety blanket to make sure that she
like a protective bubble to kind of make sure she's
sure she doesn't do anything stupid. Because it's one of them scenarios where if a young lass goes to a party with teenagers and gets high out of her mind, who knows what can happen? A lot, horrible things might happen. So he's basically going, stay here, I'll look after you, we'll see that you can handle it. Let's do that
plus,
first.
I mean, if you're gonna I also agree with the fact that like don't get it from anyone else because God knows you hear all these horror stories about people buying drugs of people and of dodgy people, and there's like multiple drugs mixed in one, and they get rushed to the hospital and stuff. It's like, God, I couldn't even imagine. So it is.
But it's things like that, people using that against them in this scenario where it's like, that has nothing to do with what him and Amber Heard are going through. I know they're both parents, but
she's not a parent.
Is she not?
Amber Heard. Oh.
Well, whatever.
That daughter that you're talking about is with his first wife.
Winona Ryder.
No, that wasn't his wife. They didn't get married.
No, I thought they did.
Is I don't know what she does. I'm not entirely sure. But
yeah, but yeah, the whole point I was making there is, I've had slaver in my beard this whole time.
That's disgusting.
That's gonna make me look like a right scrubber in it. Yeah, it's one of them things where why on earth are you using that against him? It's got nothing to do with the case that they're talking about. You know, if your idea is that he's not a very good parent, I think in that scenario where he knows his daughter's going to go and do drugs, that he did the right parent thing.
Yeah.
He's not being oppressive. She's 18, I think, or at least she's the legal age. Just spat over myself again. She's the legal age to do drugs, so she can do it whether or not he says yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically going, right, okay, well, if you're going to do it, let's be safe.
Do it in a safe environment where we.
Yeah. So I think in that scenario, he's done the perfect parent thing where it's.
Mm-hmm.
He's not being a dictator. He's not being horrible. He's been sensible and he's been, fair to her. Quite frankly, I think he's been fair and he's been safe.
Respecting our age is definitely, and he's been, yeah. I mean.
Right. Let's stop talking about horrible things.
Talk about something nice.
We'll make this a short podcast, right? Because we've got another.
We should talk about something nice though afterwards.
Yeah, we're going to talk about something now, but we've got something not very nice to talk about after this as well.
Why don't we end on the nice thing though?
No, we're going to talk about something. We're going to end this podcast on a nice thing, and then we're going to record on all things nerdy, which is not very nice. Right, so. What was I going to talk about? Views. We've had, right, this is cool. I just got it a minute ago. So we've had exactly 986 views.
Yes.
On our Batman video.
Yeah.
Which was us reacting to the
Batman trailer. 986 views.
986. So we're literally 14 views off 1,000.
And 3 comments. I want to say the name of the person that commented nice thing. I can't say that name. We'll put it in.
Let's have a look. I'll read it.
I don't want to get it wrong.
I believe, and this is me, having a swing
if it's
wrong. Afnan Ibn Azad commented 3 really nice comments. Go on the June one as well, because the June reaction trailer, because we're going to say her name as well because she was very nice as well.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, you read it. So we had 986 views on that, which is insane, and it's awesome and it's amazing. I actually had a YouTube channel before this where we had more subscribers than we do now, but we never once hit that amount of views. So thanks, I guess. Thank you for watching. Afnan posted a really abundant 3 comments, and it was like, he informed us that it's been delayed. I didn't know that it had been delayed that far. I knew it had been delayed, just not at March 2022, which isn't all that great. That's ages away, and that's so far away. But then
they're still making it, aren't they? Which is understandable.
Yeah, and then he let us know some of the sort of the themes and ins and outs and what it's based on, which was really nice of him. He's definitely keeping me straight.
He gives some of his opinions.
Gives some of his analysis, which is, I like reading stuff. I like reading stuff like that.
Because obviously we're not
experts.
I know we like claim we're experts, but we're not. We're not. And we don't always say everything, so it is nice that people, in a nice way as well. It's not like, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. It was like, no, here's what I think. I also appreciate what you think, but here's what I think.
But then he also said that he really enjoyed the reaction and the analysis, and thanks for saying that, because it was really nice. And on the June trailer, Chance commented, and she because
it was a long comment.
It was, and she did warn us that it was long. So thanks for warning Chance as well as the the actual comment.
This person basically just, because obviously we already said in the June reaction trailer that we
don't
hadn't
know
read the books, so they gave a full breakdown basically of the background, what she thought of
Timothy Chalamet, just some of the general actors, like what they're looking forward to, what they're not, just how excited they were, and also it said that they enjoyed the reaction. So yeah. And we're the same chat. I'm quite excited. I think it looks quite good actually.
I do actually. I do want to go see June.
For a film that I don't know anything about, which I actually do now because of that comment.
Yeah, we do now.
I think that comment has made me more excited to see it. Actually,
I think the sign of a good movie is when you don't know anything about the general background but still want to go see it despite that.
Yep.
Or seek out to learn more because you want to understand what it is more.
Yep.
I think June, the trailer we watched, did a good kind of... It gave us enough... Well, not really. It didn't really give us much. It kind of gave us an insight into that world so much so that it made us intrigued enough to want to watch it.
Yeah. Well,
which
like,
is obviously a good thing.
Like Chance says in the comments, she says that trailer was more for fans who knew.
Oh, absolutely.
Knew what it was.
It's like us watching a Marvel trailer or a DC trailer.
And people not
like
knowing
the Batman
what
trailer. And casual fans who probably
Yeah.
don't know everything, you know, watching it but still wanting to see it is kind of...
So again, Chance, thanks for that comment. It was really nice. And it did put a smile on my face when I read it, because it's
like
nice
reading
that
that,
someone was being informative, helping us out
Mm-hmm.
without being a swear word about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She wasn't like making, calling us idiots for not knowing it or anything like that. She was informative, and she gave a really good opinion. And I was actually gonna comment back to her and know some of the stuff that we thought about it, because I know you know more about Timothy Chalamet than I do. I haven't seen all that many stuff.
I've seen a few of his stuff, not much though. I know he's an incredible actor though. Absolutely, that's not.
Obviously, the film's about him, but I'm excited for all the other actors that are in it who I know.
That's an incredible cast list. I know we said it in the trailer.
Yeah.
But
the other thing that I think we should acknowledge as well is that we've also had a video that's had like nearly 30 dislikes, right? And it's had about 300 views.
Is this the Justice League?
This is the Justice
one?
League, and I think I sort of shot us in the leg here with my title, right? Because the title of the video was "Are we even excited?" And I think there was a lot of people who came and said
didn't. I think what happened was a lot of people probably didn't watch the full video.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. You don't have to watch the full video by all means. Your life, your choice. But I think because of the title and because we were very kind of critical, critical, a bit. They probably thought we were just hating on it. And in reality, we did actually say that we are looking forward to it multiple times.
So in the actual video, we do say at least 3 times we are excited.
Someone did comment something, I'm not sure who it was.
Yeah.
Saying, I don't care if you're not excited because I'm excited.
I'm excited. And again, fair enough.
Good for you that
I
you're
actually
excited.
liked the comment because I wish I could be so sort of
like
not impacted by the first edition of the Justice League, where I could go, I am so excited.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm not as excited as I am for the Batman, and people know that how excited I am about that.
I think a lot of people have that mindset, to be fair.
But it is a moment in time that's never, that as far as I know, has never been done before, where we are, and we've already talked about this, where someone's getting a second chance essentially to write a movie that's already come out.
I think as well though, I don't think it could be much worse than the first version. Let's be real.
Unless Zack Snyder just turds on a camera reel and puts that.
Yeah.
But that would be watching.
So I just thought it was funny because we were both like, we did say that we didn't like it. So what's probably happened is people probably haven't watched the actual video.
So we're sorry if you disliked that video. But again, our opinion, if you don't agree with our opinion, that's absolutely fine.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
But I would say if you do watch our videos, and you've especially the trailer reactions, because they seem to be the most popular ones.
Let us know your opinions.
Let
because
us know. Yeah, we like seeing people.
Tell us if we're wrong. Obviously, don't be mean.
Yeah, because we're trying not to be a mean channel where we're sort of, we don't want drama and stuff. I know we've talked about some depressing things in the comments
in the videos,
the podcast
stuff,
so far.
Yeah,
we don't want to be like insulting. We don't want to beef with
people.
Whatever. We just want to enjoy all the stuff that we enjoy.
I mean, also though, don't feel like give us criticism, give us feedback, absolutely, but don't call us idiots.
We're still learning.
Because we're not idiots. I went to school.
So did I.
I got the levels.
An argument could be made that I didn't go to college, but I
didn't get a chance to go to college because of COVID.
I know.
For my last year. God.
But yeah, I thought I'd say thank you for all those views. Every day that I've been getting up, I've been checking that view count because I've been
I don't know what I'll do when it hits 1,000 viewers.
If it hits 1,000, it stopped at 986.
Hopefully it hits 1,000.
If it hits 1,000, Katie can wax all my legs.
You shouldn't have said that.
On video. So if you watch this and then go and watch it another 14 times to see my legs getting waxed.
Do you know what it is though, right? It's like it's weird because I've never experienced anything like this. The fact people are watching it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's also made me a bit conscious because I'm like, am I being funny? Am I not? Am I being a bit weird? Am I not?
Well, like I said before, obviously me and the lads had a channel before that didn't work because they never helped me out at all. It's fine, they'll laugh at that. And we had more subs than we do on this channel at this point, because at this point we only have 10 subs, so please sub if you watch our videos. We'll love you for it.
If you don't, I'll come to your house and find you and kill you. I'm kidding. Obviously.
But yeah, we had more subs on that channel, and we never once hit the amount of views that we had on that video. Well, that we have on that video, and that video came out a week ago. We've hit nearly 1,000 views in 1 week, which is insane.
It's weird that we're talking about this because I'm sure to other like YouTubers, like successful YouTubers, that's
yeah,
like
1,000 is nothing.
That's nothing, but to us that's quite a lot, especially
a lot.
considering we have 10 subscribers.
Because if you think about the maths behind it, if it was just those 10 subs that we have, each person would have to watch the video 100 times.
Which is, I don't know someone that would. I wouldn't watch a video 100 times.
My mum hasn't watched it 100 times. I don't think Cole's watched it 100 times.
Cole watches it once, then just like calls us up and is like, because nine times out of 10 we insult them for a video.
Insulted her at least
which
once.
Which is, mean, I guess.
But we love her because she's good. She's funny. And it's just insane that we're sitting here talking about a video that's nearly got 1,000 views.
Yeah.
In the space of a week. I'd have understood if it was like after 5 months.
Yeah, like
it's a
down
week.
the line.
And it's like in 7 days, it's nearly had 1,000 views, and that's just mind-boggling. So if you do watch the videos and you like them, comment and tell us where we're wrong. Give us some information that we might have missed. Mm-hmm. Give us theories. Give us ideas.
Boost our egos slightly, because there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Obviously, again, don't be mean about it. Please, just kind of
avoid the hate, like
Chance and Afnan did. Because good on them.
Yeah,
cool
they're very
people
nice
they are.
about it.
And if you do watch them, hit the subscribe button, because it'll help us out. Because we really wanna have a go at this YouTube thing, don't we?
Yeah, a good go. That was such a deep click.
That's my thumb. I need to turn it inside
Jesus.
out.
I can just imagine looking back and your thumb. Do you know, like your thumb's like backwards. It's like backwards. I just expected to look and your thumb was like down here. Because you'd like snapped
Didn't I
it
make
off.
that joke before?
When?
Haven't I made that joke before?
When?
We watched an injury video. And I said I would be terrified to like point at someone and my finger be pointing back at us.
That video got removed though because of
I don't even think it was that one. I think it was the basketball one.
Oh yeah.
And it was the joke. The joke essentially was, I don't know how I would be. Oh no, it was rugby. It was rugby. That's what it was. Because the guy dislocated his finger and he just popped it back in. And I said, I don't know what I would be like if I got up and I was angry at someone and I pointed at them and my finger was pointing back.
Like that.
That's what I'd be like. I'd be like, oh! And I'd be good in rugby as well because they've got microphones on the pitch, so you'd see me going. So yeah. Anyway, enough about finger being broken and stuff like that. Subscribe because it helps us out. Hit the little bell button, and I suppose let us know down in the comments what you think. If you're American, let us know what you think about Biden as the president and what you think of the VP. Let us know if you're not American. Let us know what you think of Biden as the president. For all we know, he could be Kenyan. We have no idea. Let us know what you think about the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case, and go and watch some more of our videos.
Specifically the Batman one because I want to wax Shaun's legs.
I shouldn't have said that, should I?
You've said it now.
We're gonna get to 1,000 views tomorrow.
It's on camera. You said it, so it's done. Game over.
Oh, but I've already had them partly waxed because of you.
Yeah, but we lost that footage. So there's no proof or evidence, so I'm going to have to...
There is bloody proof.
No one wants to see your legs, Shaun.
I do have very hairy legs, so it'll not be like... So does you actually. You should wax your legs as well. Yeah, go watch some of our videos and comment on them, like them.
You've said this 3 times
subscribe.
now, I'm sure they get it.
Do you want me to say it a 4th time? I'll say it a 4th time. Aye. So is there anything else you want to say?
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
I need to know.